Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Just Another Talk. And on this episode, we're going to be talking about the Calle Ocho Music Festival, which I decided to attend, and not going to lie, I had a pretty good time. Now, I didn't expect to have a bad time, but it was definitely a lot liver than I thought it would be. And the reason I was thinking like that was because it is it is spring break down here in Miami, so they have put a lot of rules on people as far as drinking in public and just assembly in public and a lot of things that because of the spring breakers in the last couple of years, as you guys probably already know, they've locked down a bit on certain things. I just assumed that would carry over into the music festival, but it didn't. And I had a great time. And if you guys didn't know, I'm Dominican. Both my parents are Dominican, born in the Dominican Republic. I grew up in a household where we only spoke Spanish, and I learned most of my English from my friends and then in school. And I know a lot of people my age don't speak Spanish. Yo no soy uno de esos dominicanos que no sabe hablar español. It's funny I say that because there is a lot of people my age who don't speak the language, and I kind of grew up in a sense where if I didn't learn Spanish, I was gonna kind of be looked down upon as not really Spanish, and maybe not even down upon, but I was definitely gonna be looked at as American. And not that it's bad to be American, but in the Hispanic culture, especially Dominicans, we're very proud to be Dominican and to have customs from our country. Going to the festival was just interesting. I genuinely didn't know what to expect at first, and then when I got there, it was all kinds of fun. Lots of different food from a lot of different countries in Central America as well as, South America. And so it was really interesting to watch everybody kind of commingle, and I would say that there were mainly a lot of Cubans, a lot of Puerto Ricans, and definitely a lot of people from Nicaragua. Those were kind of the three main countries that I saw over and over. I did see a few people from the motherland as well, from DR. You already know. Shout out to my Dominicanos out there. But it was definitely lit. It was definitely an atmosphere where, as somebody who is Hispanic and grew up in the culture, as soon as I got close, I could already feel the energy. It was just lovely. It was warm. It was like I'm back home. I'm around people who know my customs and things like that. And we kind of, and I would even say that Hispanics from different parts of the world have different customs, but they all in a way overlap, and it's kind of weird to explain, but it just felt warm and inviting. And I started walking around. I had a few conversations. Not too many people wanted to be on camera specifically, but everybody was having a good time. And I'm here to tell you, breaking news, you're going to hear it here first. I did not meet anybody who was worried about being deported, which led to it being a packed event, which I was extremely happy because, again, it was just dope to be there. I hadn't done a festival like that since I went to the Dominican Festival a couple years ago back in Rhode Island, and kind of some of the Dominican festivals that I've been to, especially in New York. That vibe is definitely different, and it just feels like everybody is Hispanic, everybody is on the same page and understands each other. I didn't see too much rowdiness. Now, I did notice that there was quite a bit of police presence, so that was always good. You don't gotta worry about the troublemakers or anything crazy happening. But then again, we are in Florida, so I'm pretty sure not only was the police there for safety, but there was probably plenty of other people in the crowd carrying. So there wasn't that much risk of someone trying to do something stupid, at least not in that crowd. And for the people who don't know what the festival is, it's just an overall celebration of Hispanic culture, and it is done in Little Havana, which is in Miami. Now, that's pretty much all Cuban. There are also other Hispanic countries that have people who live in this area, but it's predominantly Cuban. That's why it's called Little Havana, after Havana, Cuba. In case you didn't know, you probably do know if you're watching this video. But regardless, they close off, I believe it's 13 blocks or 14 blocks, something like that. It may be more than that. I'm not sure, but I know they have stages on multiple streets. They had a stage on 22nd and 27th, and you can walk a good I think it was like a good 2 miles maybe. I didn't walk the full length of what they have closed off. As far as what I walked, it was a pretty long distance. I also brought the drone. Those are the videos you're seeing that I play on screen as I'm talking about the event. It was fun. Not gonna lie, I'll definitely do it again next year if I'm still in Miami. Uh, and I recommend anybody who wants to experience the Latin culture, the Hispanic culture, and just the culture of so many different people who are Hispanic together is definitely a good place to see how we're all different, but then also at the same time, we also have a lot of the same qualities. I think one of those are we're loud as fuck and people drink a shit ton of beer. So there was a shit ton of beer everywhere. And then really the only bad note that I had to say that I saw was there was trash everywhere, which you probably can see in all the videos that I've shown you so far. There was trash on the floor everywhere, and even after the fact, after it was over, there was still trash everywhere. And I haven't gone back to see what it looks like, but when I left, it was a fucking shit show. It looked like New York after New Year's Eve. I'm actually kind of curious how the businesses feel, especially after the event was over, because it was only until 7 p.m. So I'm curious how they feel about all that trash, and then obviously people coming to the restaurant to those restaurants in that area afterwards. I wonder if they have a problem with it, and maybe it's cleaned up by now. I'm not sure, so I have to take a look. But regardless, that's probably the only negative aspect. There were a few drunk people in the crowd. Some people bump into you, but for the most part, everybody was friendly. I didn't see any chaos unless other people saw chaos. I don't think there was much. Last thing I'll say is I did notice that there were a few undercover cops and plainclothes cops, which you can expect at any kind of event like that large, open to the public, so many streets closed off. You can kind of go in anyway. It's a free event. It was definitely impressive to see that level of coordination and no issues. Again, as of this moment that I've heard of. And if you guys like this kind of content, I'll do more festivals and events like this. Or if you like my opinions as well, let me know. Throw it in the comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me, would you attend this event? Or were you at the event and did you enjoy it? And so, until next time, mi gente, nos vemos.